Hey everyone. Throughout this course, I feel like I've learned a lot of different things. It's been really good just to spend a good amount of time in the New Testament and just focus on what it looks like to read it well. I feel like as believers, we spend a lot of time, well, in the Bible, of course, but in the New Testament in particular, because I think we feel that it applies a little more quickly to our life. It's a little easier to interpret. I know that's the case for me sometimes, although I do really enjoy the Old Testament. But yeah, I think in the sense of the reading throughout the course, How to Read the Bible for All It's Worth by Gordon Fee has been one of my favorite books for a really long time. I read it years ago when I was a brand new believer and was seeking to know how to read the Bible well. And I feel like reading it again, I mean, it's been like 7 years or so, 8 years. 8 years, yeah. And reading it again has just kind of reminded me of a lot of things that I've forgotten in the sense of reading the Bible well, but also things that I've applied to my life over the last 8 years and have been super helpful for me in my Bible reading. And just kind of having the refresher of the book itself was really good. And I feel like applied really well to where I'm at today, just starting out at Moody. Having been in a public university for the past few years, and just reminding myself of what it looks like to read the Bible well, even in an academic way, not just devotionally, but to really dig deep and seek what's really going on in the text by understanding the background of the author and the recipients in the case of epistles, or understanding why Matthew wrote Matthew the way he did and why John wrote John the way he did, and all those different things, and then seeking to apply it to my own life, because I really do believe, and Fee talks about it a lot in his book, about how we have to really understand the context and what the passage meant for the people then before we can apply it to our lives now. I think I've seen, both in my life and in other people's lives, how we can apply the Bible too quickly without first seeking to understand the background of the passage and what was going on in that time and the purpose of the letter and all those different things, because it can't mean something to us today that it didn't mean to the people then. And I think that's been a general rule of thumb for me when I've been reading the Bible, or when I'm discipling younger gals and learning how to read the Bible. And it just helps so much. It kind of gives a good place to jump off of. And so reading that book again was really just so good for me, good for my heart, good refresher in so many ways. And throughout the rest of the course, I think I've learned just so much about, yes, what it means to read the Bible and apply it to our lives, but also how to communicate it to other people, which it wasn't something I was expecting throughout this course. It being a Reading the New Testament course, I expected a lot of learning how to read it specifically and applying it to my life, but I feel like I learned a lot about how to communicate to others well at the same time, and to using the same things I'm learning and communicating that to them, and then also being able to communicate to those who are unbelievers what I believe about the Bible and what it says, and being able to also communicate in a way that's understandable to them. I live in Portland, Oregon, which is a great city, a weird city, but a fun city to grow up in and live in. But there are not a lot of people here who are familiar with the Bible at all. No one here really grows up in church. It's one of the most unchurched cities in the country. On my original college campus at Portland State, in talking to people about Jesus, seeking to share the gospel with them, I'd have to start in Genesis, because most of them weren't even familiar with the creation story and what that looked like, or familiar with any of the Bible stories that we learned growing up as children. And so throughout this course, I just, with some of the discussion questions and different things, I had more of a chance to think about what it looks like to communicate to those people what the Bible is about and who God is and what He's done for us. So I've really enjoyed this course. I've enjoyed talking with you guys in the discussions. I've really enjoyed your thoughts. And Professor Jupp, thank you so much for teaching us, and your willingness to really be patient and share with us what it looks like to read the New Testament. Hope you guys all have a great Christmas break, and I'll probably run into you guys in some of my other classes. Have a good Christmas. Bye-bye.